So when you're editing, when you're actually making the corporate film, the informational film, just make sure there's 4 seconds at the start or 4 seconds at the end for audio description. A lot of corporate films and informational films are just talk, 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 talk. Okay, there's no gaps. If there are already gaps, that's great. We can put audio description in. If there are no gaps, if it's standard talking, just put 4 seconds at the start or the end. Leave the end card lingering. And it can be something as simple as the animation depicts the voiceover. That's your audio description. That's all they need to know. Okay, they just know all the information's in the voiceover. It will tell them that. But for internet videos, for these that are going on websites that need WCAG standards, they have to have audio description, so you have to provide time for it. Okay, make your films. If you're making an artistic film, make the film. Don't worry too much about audio description. I'm an editor. You've got your beats, you've got your rhythm, you've got all that going on. Fine. And whether or not that film ends up on a WCAG website, it's probably not going to. So what I'm talking about here is the bread and butter for a lot of filmmakers is corporate videos, is government videos. Okay, that's what a lot of people make money on. And we have this problem where people give us corporate videos and we have to send them back and say, add more time, okay? So this is, internet video is required to meet WCAG standards if it's on a government website, so Road Traffic Authority, any sort of government website, it has to have audio description and captioning, okay? And most corporate websites do it as well. That's what I'm talking about, not art videos or feature films or anything like that. There's a film out recently called Notes on Blindness, and they actually have, and it's about a man's turned blind over 3 years. Well, actually, it took longer than 3 years, but as he was losing his vision, he kept diaries. And they made a film about it was about his thoughts, he was expressing his thoughts, so they made a film about that. They did a completely different audio described soundtrack for that film, but it was actually made for the film and integrated. So with your films, if you want to make them accessible, it's the same thing I said before, include all the information in the soundtrack, but you're doing artworks, so yeah, have a pause with lovely flowing music where people can sit and look at the artwork, and then you've got time for the audio description of that artwork. So that's what I would be thinking about in this. If you're very chatty, does the chattiness include descriptions of the artwork? Remember, as I said, if it's in the soundtrack, we don't need to add it in the audio description. Okay, it's about accessibility, it's about making the film comprehensible and enjoyable for someone with a vision impairment, okay? It's not about having audio description for the sake of having audio description, okay? So think about, with these kind of things, you have to have audio description for the sake, there needs to be audio description. It's a legal requirement. With your films, not so much. But think about, is your film comprehensible as it is for a VIP? Will they understand it? Will they enjoy it? Do you have information about your artworks in there? Or are they going to be sitting there going, what are they talking about? Okay, so for example, Antiques Roadshow. Dawn, who you saw in the video, she loves Antiques Roadshow. She wanted that audio described. Has everyone watched Antiques Roadshow? They say, oh, this is a lovely piece, yada, yada, yada. They'll talk about it. They'll never say what it is. She doesn't know if it's a desk, if it's a pen, if it's a book, okay? She's got no idea what they're talking about. So think about that in terms of your artwork. Does the dialogue, narration, does it explain what they're actually talking about? Will a VIP be able to keep up and understand where you're at and what you're talking about there? And then, if not, you can add the audio description in then. One other fun thing with internet videos to keep in mind, YouTube doesn't allow 2 different audio tracks. Okay, I think some internet sites you're able to have 2 different audio tracks. YouTube doesn't allow it. So if your video is going on YouTube, you need to have the standard version and then a separate audio described version, okay? And usually what they do is they have a link that says for audio described, click here, and that takes you to the audio described version, okay? That's one way of doing it online. The second way, and I don't know how they do this, this is magic internet computer pixie stuff. You can have a video that is, has a link, turn on audio description. And you just click that link and it's the same video and it just plays with audio description. Bren probably knows more about that than I do. I don't. As I said, if your website programmers can do that, awesome. Otherwise, you're probably going to have 2 copies. Okay, so just think about what you need in terms of this. Excellent. So, as I said, magic computer pixie dust. These are the different types of audio description that you might need to deliver or you might need to have delivered. Okay, if you're making it yourself, this is stuff you need to know. So the soundtrack mix is something you just heard with Broadchurch. Okay, it's an audio file, it's mixed in. Okay, it's a standalone WAV file usually. Okay, so this is for DVD, television streaming, internet or iTunes. Everyone know what that is? So it's a type of deliverable. Most of the time this is what you need to deliver, okay? Okay, a layback, that Broadchurch that I just played, and everything I'm playing today is a layback. It is the video with the audio file attached to it and synced up to it. Okay? So for example, if you've got to deliver on YouTube, you need a layback. Okay, some clients can do that themselves, so we just deliver the soundtrack mix and they sync it up by themselves. Some clients don't have that capability, so they ask us to do what's called a layback. So it's just the video and the audio description. If you need a layback, we need a high quality copy of the video because that's the one you're going to be posting online, so it needs to be as good a quality, okay? If we're just doing audio description, you don't need that good a quality video. Okay, everyone understand? DCP, this is for cinema. Has anyone gone to cinema with audio description? Okay, when you go to the cinema, you get a little audio pack, radio pack, you get headphones, and basically you just get the audio description fed into your headphones. Okay, and you're just listening to the soundtrack with everybody else. This is the best way to listen to audio description. It's really good because you can control the volume of the audio description yourself. It's a fabulous way of doing it. They should have it. Not every session is audio described, but yeah, it is possible. The other fun bit is if you go to cinemas, a lot of them are not familiar with audio description. So you go in there, ask for the audio description headset. They usually give you the captioning gear. Okay, so rule of thumb, if it doesn't have headphones, send it back. Okay, so one of the problems with audio description is you've got blind and vision impaired watching television with their families. The audio description can drive their families nuts. Okay, so as I say, the ADs doing it this way is actually a really good way of getting audio description because the people who need it hear it. There are a couple of apps out at the moment. People are working on this. And one that I've heard of is you download the audio description into your phone. You hold your phone up to the TV when the show starts, and the phone can listen to the TV and it syncs to the soundtrack, and then you listen to the audio description through wearing headphones through your phone. And that would be brilliant. And if that becomes more widely spread, because it is a big issue. Just having audio description is fantastic, but having audio description that doesn't drive your friends and family insane is even better. So that's a DCP. It's quite good fun, and anyone can do it. So if you find you're in an audio described session, it's just a matter of asking for the headset. Go there a bit early because, as I say, most cinema employees aren't familiar with the concept, so you might need a bit of time. Okay. And the AD transcripts, and this is the transcription of the file with descriptions. Usually we use the caption file and we reformat it and we put descriptions in. I've got an example of that coming up. But that's quite good for internet sites. And as I said, and personally, I don't like watching videos myself. I like going to the text version. And I know my blind friends are the same. They don't want to watch the video, they just want to know the content. So that they want to go to the text version, the screen reader. So it's an alternative method. Okay, examples. Right, AD transcript. Usually it's not the colours. I did the colours to make it a bit easier for everyone to see. This is formatting that we've made up. Okay, so if you want to do it in a different way, go for it. So the blue is the audio description. Our standard is square bracket. So this is the video you just watched. Okay. Now, if you have a look, I've cheated this a bit. I've done some of my usual cheating stuff. Can anyone spot what my cheats are? So one of the rules of AD is that you're not supposed to give them any extra information. If the information is not on the screen and a sighted person doesn't have that information, you're not supposed to give them any added information. That's the rule I've broken, if it's not on the screen. Okay, so we've got on a white screen, yada, yada, yada. Title, in an office, a middle-aged woman, Lynn McGregor, wears a colourful top and glasses. I named Lynn to make my life easier and to make it more comprehensible, okay? In the video, we don't name them to the end and you don't know who's who, right? It doesn't matter. Okay, you've got 3 people talking about something, you've got different opinions, you can see who they are. Okay, but in terms of a transcript, if I've got woman 1, woman 2, woman 3, it starts getting boring. So this makes it more comprehensible. It adds personality to it, okay? And I do the same thing in movies. With captions, you're not allowed to name a character. Like, you know how you say they can identify who's speaking? In captions, you're not allowed to identify the character's name until they're named in the film. So until the hearing audience knows who they are. Characters are not named for a really long time in films sometimes. So you've got man 1, man 2, man 3. If anyone's watched The Crow, the Brandon Lee, the bad guy in that is never named. Top dollar, his name is never said in the film. It turns up in the credits. Okay? So one of my sneaks in audio description is I break that rule. Character turns up, I will name them. If naming them isn't an important moment in the film, so you've got to once again think about the drama of the film. If revealing their identity is an important moment, then no, I don't name them. So that's the type of transcript, that's the layout of the transcript that you can do, okay? But just make it easy to understand. And think about if your video has lots of editing, lots of picture changes, and you're doing a transcript, it's a good idea to do a summary of what's happening in the video up there. Then you can let the dialogue just run, because if you're not stopping, starting, stopping, starting. Okay?